Good evening, folks. This is Brent Easton with Easton Farms. I'd like to welcome everybody back to the channel. Just like to shoot a quick update on the cows this evening. Scenery's so pretty and the light's good, and it's probably the last really good day we're going to have to shoot a video for a while. Weathermen are talking about several days in a row of rain, so thought I'd take the chance to do this now while I was in a good spot. So, as you can see, the cattle all look pretty darn good. Everybody's fat, plump, and healthy. Got pretty minimal fly problems so far this year. Thank goodness. I started feeding a mineral mix that had garlic in it, and that really helped a lot. So thanks, Jason, for the advice on that. You're absolutely right. The garlic does help. A lot of people have told me that over the last couple of years, and I started them on some of it, the same mix, late last year, and we didn't really have time to see how much difference it made. But so far it's making a big difference this year. I mean, they've still got a few flies on them, but none on their faces, just on their backs. And that's not been much of a problem at all. And we've been fairly cool, not bad, but I'm sure that's helped some. But we've had several days that was in the 70s and a couple that touched 80s. It looked like we were headed for a real dandy fly year again this year until I got that mineral and started feeding them, because there was a couple of days there that they had quite a few on them. The mix that I've been using is from a local company called Vitazine. It's a high mag 15 with garlic mixed in it. And man, ever since I put them on that, and it's a little pricey for a bag, but they don't seem to go through a terrible lot of it. So it's within reason. And if it'll keep the fly problems down, I spent quite a bit of money last year treating several, well, I've lost track, but several cases of pink eye from, I assume, from the fly problem. And hopefully we avoid that this year. Looks like we might. Things keep going this well, this good, whatever the proper term there is. Yeah, no wind here this evening for a change. That's an oddity for Kansas. As you can see, the forages here look really good. They've been on this piece here this afternoon. They've got it chewed down pretty good. The rest of this paddock's really pretty. And they've had this to run in for the last couple of days, at least a portion of it. And then here on the other side, there's a little creek here that I've piled brush along the side. But on the other side of this, if I can get where I can see it, is that 45-acre crop field that I fenced and subdivided in quarters in one of the last videos that I posted. It's over on the other side of the brush. We rotated out of it, and we've been getting enough rain. See, I moved them from there, and we went across this and went on south and regrazed several of the paddocks that we had grazed previously. And now we're already rotated back here as of a couple of days ago. And I ran them out into the crop field, and they spent the last couple of days roaming around out there. And I let them have this as a kind of a loafing area, and I had a portion of it fenced off that opened it up this morning. But yeah, it's worked really well. This was so grown back up. Well, they barely touched it last time we came through here, and really good quality forage and a lot of clover in it. And they were so full when we passed through here. They were in here for a day before, and or a day and a half, and they still just barely touched it. They laid around most of that day because they were so full. So they've been doing a really good job putting weight on. Of course, they've had all the food that they can possibly cram down their throats. It's nice to have things that way. And we've still got, I believe around 30 acres. If you go through that gap right there and go across the old CRP ground, there's 100 acres of CRP there that we can't graze yet. It's mostly a native warm season grass mix. Excuse me. If you go through that opening there and go across that, there's a corner of the property over in there that's about 30 acres of open ground. I think there's about 50 acres in that corner. Lays in 3 fields. Part of it's in brush. But there's about 30 acres of open ground over there that we haven't touched yet. And it's probably up to their bellies now. I drove over there and looked at it the other day. I've got to run some electric fence over there and cut it off. We've got good perimeter barbed wire fencing here on this property, but there's a couple of pieces that are a little sketchy, and I just as soon keep hot wire around everything. So that far corner over there has been an ongoing dilemma and an upcoming project because it's, well, my charger's over on the southwest corner and that's the northeast corner, and there's, over 350 acres here, so it's a long ways from my charger. It'd almost be better to just rig up another portable solar powered charger and just charge that whole corner and that side of the property by itself, I think. Man, my allergies are throwing a fit this evening for some reason. Got a whiff of pollen somewhere. So yeah, everybody's doing really good. As you can see, they're not hungry this evening either. They've been out eating in the field all day over here in this crop field, and there's fescue around the edge of it. I think I was showing the other day that's like knee high on me, and I'm 5'10", so I came over this morning and drove around. You can see them from the north road out in that crop field, so it made a fast, easy place to check on them up there from the road. Drove down there and checked on them this morning, and they were all out there grazing away, doing really good. So yeah, big full bellies. Well, they're just so pretty. That deep red color is just fits my eye. I know a lot of people like the black cattle, and they are pretty, but I don't know. I'm just different. You see black cattle everywhere. I've always been a big fan of these deep red cows. I think I mentioned before in a video, I think I was about 14, and somebody in a near local town here had a herd of red poles out in the field, and they had really pretty pasture, well managed pastures, really pretty. And every day, or every time we'd go by there, of course I didn't have my driver's license yet, but when I was riding with my parents, every time we'd go by there, I'd just marvel at those cows, how pretty they were. The blonde tail switches. And I didn't have any idea what breed they were. So finally, one day we went by there and I told Mom and Dad, I said, I'm going to have my own herd of those one of these days, someday. And Dad said, I hope you do, son. And I didn't even know what breed they were. But a local guy, I mentioned it to him one day, and he said, oh yeah, I said, those are red poles. and I don't remember who he said owned them, but he knew the guy. And he said, yeah, he found those red poles and brought them in there, and he really likes them. So ever since, I'm 45 now, and ever since I was a kid there, I thought how much I'd like to have those. Well, fast forward several years later, I got into the regenerative agriculture stuff and was looking for ways to make better use of the cover crops on the crop fields, and seemed like an awful waste, all that forage just being terminated and planted into, and they're a little bit of an expense per acre to plant. So I was looking at ways of utilizing that better, more efficiently, and started looking at different breeds of cattle, and the red poles, everything about them just fit. And I thought, a cool puzzle piece just fell into place. So although I was already in love with the looks of the breed, I actually picked them for their qualities and traits. They'd been used to manage grays in the UK for several decades, and of course before that the breed was developed in the early 1800s, I believe, and of course they were developed as a multi-use, multi-purpose breed for beef and dairy from their cross. But here in the back in the late 1900s, people started using them to manage some of the grasslands and parks and stuff in the UK. Anyway, when I read that, I thought, wow, that just fits exactly with what I need to do on the ranch. Let them graze my cover crops, and in between crop cycles, I can put them on the parts of the ranch that aren't croppable or very usable for anything but livestock, and I've got a complete system that way. So fast forward to 2019, and then I kind of fell into the sheep deal and saw those at Greg's grazing school, Greg Judy, and fell in love with those and thought, that's the other piece of the puzzle. All the broadleaf stuff and the weedies and the woody invasives, briars, thorny sprouts, roses and stuff like that, the sericea, everything that the cattle don't necessarily favor, the sheep would pick up. So it was just really awesome how, it's just like it was meant to be. So all the puzzle pieces came together and everything fell in place, and things were going pretty well for me, and I had enough resources to make it happen. So between me and some family and really close friends and good landlords, we've got a pretty cool little operation going on. I'm extremely proud of it. But it's been a blast. It's so much fun. I never imagined that I'd have so much fun with grazing animals, but they're just a delight. I don't have to fight them. They're really good animals. They're gentle. They respect the hot wire. They trained really good to that. I just can't speak highly enough of them. And they're doing superbly on the grass. Very little supplementation. I give them a little sweet feed once in a while, just as a treat, and to kind of keep them trained where all I've got to do is rattle a bag or holler at them, and here they come to me. So it's a nice way to live, nice way to have things. It's sure enjoyable. It's a nice stress reliever, especially when things are going well, not having any problems. But so far things have gone really smooth. Not had a lot of sick animals or a lot of problems. Just put everybody on good forage and take care of them. been an adventure and been a really fun one. Hopefully it continues to be. That's about all I got to shoot the breeze about this evening on this video, I think. I would like to extend a very gracious thank you to all the new subscribers on the channel. You're very welcome. I'm glad everybody found us and joined, and I enjoy sharing all this with everybody as much as I can. We just broke 100 subscribers here a few days ago. I think we're up to 109 now, something like that. So anyway, a big thank you to all the new subscribers. If you haven't subscribed, please do. Feel free to like the videos if you do, and feel free to comment. I enjoy to visit with everybody in the comment section that have any questions or comments. But I noticed YouTube has got an onslaught of trolls here lately, posting links to everything from weird video sites to porn and everything else. I sweep through and wipe them out as soon as I can find them, but it's not just on my channel. I've noticed them on several other channels that I subscribe to too. But I report them to YouTube as soon as I can and try to get them dealt with, but I can't be in all places all the time. But we'll all stay vigilant, I'm sure, try to keep them off. I apologize for anybody that clicks on something like that and gets offended, but it's the internet. What do you do? It's interesting that YouTube can, their infamous algorithm can find so many problems with seemingly innocuous videos that don't necessarily agree with certain opinions, and they can remove those, but they have trouble finding the trolls promoting porn sites and everything else in the comment section. It's pretty annoying, to be honest, but I guess we'll deal with it. So we have been, but hopefully as soon as a person reports those, they're dealt with swiftly. But they disappear from my feed as soon as I take them off there, but it seems like they're right back the next time I post a video. So anyway, so yeah, I'm gonna go off on a bad tangent there and stay on it if I'm not careful. So I better get away from that, and I've got other chores to do this evening before I go home. So I wish everybody a very happy and good evening, and I'll talk to y'all later. Everybody take care. Bye-bye.